A year ago, I decided to transform my garden from the boring, new build, boxed-in vibe to something that felt a bit more like an English country garden. As a reminder, here's what it looked like before, and you can find the videos of the process on my channel with everything we did to try and improve it. And here's what it looked like when we'd finished last summer. Obviously, gardens need time to establish and grow, and I've had a few requests recently to post an update 1 year later. So here is what my garden is like now as we approach the end of summer. Firstly, olive. The previous owners of the house had planted this olive tree too close to the wall, and it was growing at an angle. My mum and I dug out an entire tree and moved it to a new patch on the lawn where we were worried it wouldn't survive, and it was a little bit hit and miss in the weeks to follow. But a year later, here we are. I'm not convinced it's in perfect health, but it's still here. Any tips would be gratefully received on this one. A new addition this year has been brightening the base of the tree with some little plants. My Acer continues to be an amazing feature. It's been hit and miss over the last year about which plants have survived in the shade beneath it, keeping in mind it will take a lot of water and nutrients from the ground. We've lost a few, moved a few, and this is how it stands now. I did move the azaleas as they were struggling a bit, and now they are in this new part where we extended the border along with the brick edging. I put a conifer in there to try and fill this space, as with last year, trying to hide the surrounding walls and fences a bit. And then I've added in some of my other plants to this area, just to see what happens, call it a bit of an experiment zone. The ground here isn't great, so we'll see what happens. Moving a few plants around in this area has given a bit more space to my Christmas tree, which has come along a bit in the last year. The back wall was always a bothersome point for me, and I wanted to hide it so I didn't feel so boxed in. I planted 2 pyracantha, 2 salvia and a red robin to try and fill the space. I think I overdid it a bit as the red robin didn't get a chance to grow at all and I lost it. The salvia bushed out and took over the space. One pyracantha grew way more than the other, likely as it's away from the shade of the Acer, but I still don't feel like I've quite got this section right. This back seating area remains, and I'm still using my small pots for dahlias over the summer. However, my climbing roses were really struggling in pots, and so I've moved them to a new spot. And this time I'm trying wisteria and clematis to see if I can get them to grow up and over the pergola. And so, where are my roses? Well, we installed a little archway for them to grow up, and so this way they could be planted in the ground, and they have started to pick up again. They flowered very briefly at the end of spring, but I didn't see much from them this year. Hopefully this will be a better spot for them and I'll have them back flowering next year. We added small box shrubs to the edges of the lawn. This is the newest addition and I'm hoping they'll grow into a low hedge so that the arch feels more purposeful, like you actually have to walk through it to get to the lawn. And I moved this big pot with the tree I still don't know the name of to the end of the row to finish it off. With the shrubs that were in the pots here now part of the new hedge, I filled this space with my long planters. I did lose the plants that were in there last year in the frost, so I've replaced these with lavender. My ferns are also doing quite well, despite the fact that they seem to have moments where I think I'm about to lose them. I've also added in my first ever hanging basket by the back door. And I moved the little white seating area into the centre of the patio rather than the corner. The separation from the lawn to the patio somehow made this space feel bigger, and then the seating area did look better in the middle as more of a feature. And again, still using this other little pot for some dahlias. And so here is the garden at the end of last summer when we'd finished all the work, so you can compare and see how it's come along 1 year later. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed this little update of my garden. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more content, and I will see you in another video very soon. Until next time, take care. Bye.